This is a book review of Shazam, the Golden Age of the World's Mightiest Mortal by Chip Kidd and Jeff Spear. Now, this book came out in 2010, about 240, 250 pages, and it's in colour predominantly. There's some black and white, of course, and obviously in hardback, and it's from Abraham Comic Arts. And what does it cover? Well, it covers Captain Marvel, obviously a superhero that was Fawcett Comics, came out with stacks and stacks of comics, and there was lots and lots of characters. There was Captain Marvel, Mary Marvel, there was Captain Marvel Jr. and Captain Marvel, the Uncle Marvel, I suppose. And also, of course, he had lots of villains as well, Mr. Mind, etc. And just loads and loads of great stories all the way through to the 50s. And that was it. This is what this book covers, all the way through to the 50s. Now, it doesn't cover many of the comic books. It's just got obviously a few covers in here, some covers anyway. It's also got a lot of little information about the background of the creation, etc., all various things. And also, of course, the end of Captain Marvel, when in 1950s, when obviously there was a lawsuit, and of course, and then that was it for quite a while. About 1973, I think it was, you had Shazam from DC Comics, obviously came out, but that's not covered in this at all. So it's just lots and lots of pictures of like cars, puzzles, the movies, and tons of things. And it's real nice quality, beautiful quality paper. And well, I've got obviously Captain Marvel, the Junior, as well as Mary Marvel as well. Not too much about them, more about Captain Marvel Junior than Mary Marvel. So you've got some original artwork. I love original artwork. It's always great to see. And actually, when you see that, to be honest, I think that looks pity that wasn't saved. I mean, that would have been brilliant. They brought out whole heaps of books of that artwork. I think when actually it's been, you see the comic books, when it's been taken from the comic books, sometimes it doesn't look so good now anyway. Back then, back in the 40s, maybe it was really, really quite good. But now it looks, unless you've got really super duper quality comics, I think sometimes some of the reproduction is never going to be as good. But you look at the black and white and you think, wow, it's so crisp. Makes you wonder about. Well, unfortunately, I didn't see any examples of original drawings before they were obviously before they were inked. Got a nice introduction. Also, you've got the story here. You've got this character called Zed, and Sivana, of course. It always looks slightly odd because, of course, now I'm more used to the Shazam, the later ones in the 70s. The character and obviously changed completely now. So you look at him there; he's sort of very, very unusual. And even, well, there's obviously Billy there. Billy Bateson, don't know how it's said, obviously it might vary. You've got that, boom! And you've got then, obviously, some other examples. Some of these really must be obscure. I mean, especially in the UK, I doubt there's many. Can't imagine there's many got to this country. Because, of course, it would have been, obviously, the war was on and all those sort of things. So, all these sort of or 1947, obviously, the war wasn't. But even then, it probably was still pretty hard to find in the UK, I would have thought. However, even in the US, I'm certain this is fairly obscure stuff. So you've got some lovely examples of additional stuff there. You've got some other pages of comic book art. You've got the Rocket Raider. You've got Magic Eyes. Wow. And then you've got the movies. Recently, I've watched quite a few of these sort of serials. They're interesting. I'm not certain they're the world's greatest, but they have their charm, is the best way to describe it. You've actually got a lovely inked page there. I love that. Master Comics. See, yeah, Mac Rayboy. Just bought Raboy. I'm not certain how you say his name. Just bought recently a Tomorrow's book of his art, with all his artwork and everything. Quite a fascinating book. I love his poses. You had certain poses that you used, and they actually just got them from a sort of photostats and stuck them on, which I suppose is a good way of doing it if you want to quickly create. And then she's Mary Marvel, Captain Marvel's sister. Another, you got this, that's quite unusual to see Mary Marvel like that. Mary Marvel and a secret visit to Movieland, and you've got the comics there. And then Christmas, you've got a load of Christmas ones, Comic Stars. Master Comics, I love it. What a toss bag. Anyway, toss bag for boys and girls. Some more examples. I love that. Oh, they've got the example, obviously, the original artwork, and then you've got obviously the comic itself. And actually, I think when you look at the artwork there, Really, really nice seeing the inked page, because obviously once you've got the colour and everything all over it, you lose quite a bit of, obviously that's the Spy Smasher. You've got some more Shazam there, or Captain Marvel, and sort of Cap, overseas type Cap. Comic Heroes Iron-Ons. I wonder how many of those survived. Obviously some did. And you've got some lovely there. Wow, Captain Marvel statue there. Lovelies. Again, lots of these must be super rare. Absolutely. And this book is just full of rarity. It's really quality book. Massive. And you've got, again, a lovely bit of original artwork and also the comic book. And like I say, again, you look at the original inked page. Wow. Just so good to see that. And then you see the original there, obviously the comic book. Just, I love original art pages. Just absolutely. It's just a pity that most of this property's been lost. But because you just see it and you think, wow. However, got letters here as well, various articles there. And you've got another, more Captain Marvel Jr. there. See Hitler there. You've got a few comic pages, obviously front covers, and not many, which is reasonable because, of course, lots of this material is fairly easy to find, relatively. Whereas things like Mary Marvel wristwatch, I'm certain, is not. And you've got Hoppy the Marvel Bunny as well at the back. You've got this one here, Holy Grail of Captain Marvel collectibles, without doubt, the stuffed dolls. And I love that it even shows the last of the comics. That was the one where they disappeared. And of course, that was it. That's when, of course, with the lawsuit, and that's one trouble with just crushing my fingers. I was going, obviously not Shazam or Captain Marvel's strength. So sort of like, ooh, ow. That's not so good. However, what an absolute gem this book is. I love this. I love Captain Marvel. Great character. I love the Golden Age archives from DC. They were absolutely brilliant stories. I love those. Love the recent Shazams as well. And wow, just it'd be nice if a lot of this material was more readily available. But anyway, books like this, I just absolutely love. This is brilliant. If you're into Captain Marvel, I think this is definitely has to be on your bookshelf. Beautiful book. Totally recommended.